Margaret Thatcher. Now, that's a name I don't want to say too often throughout the course of my entire life. Now, before I kick off with this review, I want to tell you that my father was one of the 3.5 million people who were unemployed during Margaret Thatcher's term in office. And as such, despite my active disinterest in party politics, I bloody well hate that bitch, and the idea of going to see a film based on her life actually made me feel a little bit sick. Until I saw the trailer.
Welcome to the madhouse. One simply has to maximise your appeal, make you look and sound like the leader that you could be.
Call me Mr. Thatcher.
Dennis!
Yes, I want authority, I want conviction.
Dennis!
Yes.
No.
Meryl Streep, great actress and all, but she does play an awful lot of characters who seem to have a 2p piece squeezed between their bum cheeks throughout the entire film. By no means am I saying that she's a one-trick pony. The characters she plays are varied, original, and very colourful, but they do seem to share this one character trait, which is perhaps the reason why she was cast as the ultimate bottom squeezer, Margaret Thatcher. She is amazing in this film. The makeup team have done an incredible job to make her look the spitting image. Well, I was going to say she looks exactly like Margaret Thatcher, but in fact she looks exactly like Margaret Thatcher would look if she had some semblance of beauty on her face, which of course she doesn't. But it's not just the makeup. Every movement, every gesture, every flick of the eye, it's Margaret Thatcher. It's just, that's what you see when you see the screen, you see Margaret Thatcher. It's almost as though Margaret Thatcher has starred in her own movie about herself. And her accent. Not only has she managed to completely nail the English accent, her tone, her way of speaking is spot on.
That hat has got to go. And the pearls. But the main thing is your voice. It's too high and it has no authority.
I may be persuaded to surrender the hat. The pearls, however, are absolutely non-negotiable. That's the tone that we want to strike.
I had her in my head as an Oscar contender just from seeing the trailer. And anybody who's seen the trailer will know exactly what I mean. She's proved once and for all that her acting abilities are as tight as her sphincter. But of course you can't just win an Oscar by being a great actress alone. She needed the screenplay to match her ability, and sadly I think that's where this film falls off. Abby Morgan has written a screenplay that is in parts funny, witty and poignant. But there is one huge structural weakness that plagues the entire film. The film starts with an 80-something-year-old Margaret Thatcher who is beginning to lose her faculties and hallucinates all the time about her dead husband, who is played by Jim Broadbent.
Milk's gone up. 49p a pint.
Good grief. You'll have to economise. Suppose we could always sell the car. Or take in paying guests.
Goodness, there you are.
Yes, here we are.
Now, she's in the process of clearing out his things after 8 years since his death, and in doing so, all of her memories of her youth come flooding back. These memories basically make up the entire film. We're taken back to when she first began her career in politics, all the way through to when she stepped down. Here's where the problem lies. Firstly, the present storyline in which she's an 80-year-old woman are made to seem secondary to the flashbacks, and yet the flashbacks are really hard to get into because they're so quickfire. The last half of the film was like a montage of 12 years of British history, and it's very hard to empathise with something going at that sort of pace. It's a real shame because this, of all the amazing films Meryl Streep has done, it could have been the film that she was born to do, and the writing just lets it down. Phyllida Lloyd is known in the film community for directing Mamma Mia, but she's very highly acclaimed as an opera and theatre director, and you can see some of that zazziness brought to this picture. The way the film's shot is extremely colourful and entertaining, and it really does liven it up and make the film a lot more enjoyable. I was really looking forward to seeing Richard E. Grant and Anthony Head in this film. They've worked together in the past in a play called Otherwise Engaged, which I was lucky enough to see. And, well, in my opinion, they're two of the most likeable British actors there are around, and I'm just sick of seeing them in small, crappy TV roles where they should be doing something bigger, better, and far more interesting. I felt quite let down, to be honest, that they weren't given bigger parts to play and their roles were largely subdued. Even Jim Broadbent's husband was a two-dimensional character, and everybody in it circles around Margaret Thatcher and is just coincidental in the story. This makes it difficult for us to care about Maggie's actions because we have little insight into the people that it affects. You get the impression that the writer and the director tried to cram in so much of the history that they weren't able to fit anything else in, and it really feels like a claustrophobic film in that sense. You have no space to get to know anything else and to really explore the issues going on in the film. This was a very enjoyable film, thanks muchly to Meryl Streep's performance and Phyllida Lloyd's lively direction. Unfortunately, my heart was not in my mouth, and for a film that really is trying to pull on your heartstrings, I didn't care enough for the characters to warrant giving this any more than a 4 out of 6. Bye, au revoir, doi, see you next time.